Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. First stop for the day was the VA hospital. Man, those folks are a little overkill. Then I was up this BMW to the left. It's got most of the brake lights out. The high mount light's working, but the two and the tail lights are out. Pull up beside the person, let them know their brake lights are out. The window's busted. They can't even roll down the window. Man, if you can't afford these expensive cars, you might want to stay away from them. Costs money to be the boss. Good morning, party people. Going to be an action-packed day. Come out here, getting ready to get started. A bird just pooped on Queen Bee. I don't even know how it happened. There's like nothing above this car that would see the bird to poop on it. So I'm gonna wipe that off just because I can, and then I'm gonna install a little winch I got from Harbor Freight onto this tow dolly. This tongue was, I guess, drilled through here and bolted, so it should be okay if I drill a couple of holes in here and mount this winch on here. Hopefully I'll miss this wire connection when I drill in. I'll have to try to drill around it. I guess that wire runs up through the tow dolly. That is sandwiched there and bolted back there, but it claimed this winch is rated for 2,500 pounds. I don't know if that's a deadlift weight or a pull weight. I'm gonna find out, because these cars are 3,200 pounds, and if the winch can't pull a car up on the dolly, then that's gonna be a problem for me. I'm gonna cover a couple of these instructions, so I probably should take a look at that, read these, which I guess is technically too late since I've used this thing 1,000 times. Fully loosen the hand wheel. A, lower the coupler onto the hitch ball. B, C, ensure the ball clamp D is below the coupler. Hand tighten hand wheel. Move the tow vehicle forward several inches, then ensure the hand wheel is tightened. Alright, I understand that. Let me grab this winch and get started. Diane's friend Cindy is here from Lincoln, Nebraska. Stayed the night with us. So I spent the last 2 days trying to clean up my mess in the house, so it would be presentable and no one would have any safety concerns. So here it is, 2,500 pounds ATV utility winch with automatic load holding brake. Permanent magnet motor draws less current, ideal for ATV use. Single stage preliminary gear sensor for fast line speed. Automatic load holding brake for increased safety. Got a couple features: a wireless remote, wired remote. Includes 2 remotes. So here it is over here. It came with hardware to mount it on to something, but more like a plate, because these are definitely too short to mount onto a tow bar like that. So I went and got some class 8 bolts that will hopefully hold it. I can't tell if these are 6 or 9 that's in here. Mine's are 8.5 maybe, and these bolts are rated 8.8. Maybe that's what mines are rated at. Anyway, I'm gonna set this over here and get started drilling holes through this tow bar. Hopefully the drill bits I have are good, and they'll get this thing done. I don't know if that's part of the brake or not. This little metal guide here. But I'm gonna drill this thing in. Let me move it out of the way. Oh, I almost forgot to get that bird crap. As you may remember, we got titanium bits and cobalt. These cobalts are supposed to be good for heavy duty steel. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it with these, not waste any time. I'm gonna put this thing right here. This is where I'm gonna mark my holes and drill them in. I was thinking about putting it on a little bit of an angle to pull, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it straight. Should be far enough not to need an angle. I think this cable is 50 feet, so it should be long enough. Let's get started. In this video, we're going to be installing and using this Badland ZXR 2,500 pound ATV utility wrench to see if it can help get a car loaded up on a car dolly. I had a situation a couple weeks ago where I called a tow truck to pull a car up on the car dolly for me. Thought it would make it easy. It made it easy, but not on my pocket. They charged me $275 for a 5-foot tow. So this thing cost about $100 from Harbor Freight, and we're going to see if this rating on it, this 2,500 pounds, is strong enough to pull a car up on the dolly. With any kind of utility winch, it's going to have to be mounted to something. It's either going to have to be mounted to your vehicle or your trailer, and in my case, the dolly. I'm going to attach it and install it on the neck of my dolly, and hopefully that'll be sufficient for it to help me get the cars up here. So let's get started. Pull the winch out. Not sure how much it weighs, but I'll check it here in a little bit. Man, if I had to guess, it's probably 20 pounds. Nice strong electrical motor. You know, I think a starter motor could pull a car up here. When cranked to the engine, it's got those leverages and linkages and manual transmission, but this should do it as well. So we're going to check this out. It comes with 2 remotes to keep you clear of the action of it. Came with a bag of hardware, bolts rated 8.8 strength, and it came with this hook here, this quick attaching hook. Came with this roller guide for pulling the cable around things. It comes with this power pack here, a wireless remote, and it comes with a leash remote. I went to Home Depot and bought some 90mm bolts that should be long enough to get this bolted to my neck of my car dolly. I'm gonna drill a hole through my car dolly and get this thing mounted right here. I'm gonna go an inch up from the cable, maybe 2. That'll give me a little bit of room to get this thing around the cable. I'm gonna go off center just a little bit because it looks like that cable might be center, and I don't want to have to wrestle getting the bolts past the cable. May not have any slack in it. A little bit of slack, it should be okay. This electrical wire runs down through there, comes out down there somewhere, and feeds the lights on the end of my trailer. I was planning on drilling 4 holes, 2 on top, 2 on the bottom, but this bit may reach all the way down through here, it looks like. So I started with a 3/32. I went up to a 7/32, and I ended up with a 5/16. I believe the 5/16 is the size I need. Let me go get my bolt, make sure it falls in that hole. These are the bolts or screws I have. Does fall in a hole, tight fit. So make sure I'm missing the wire harness. I'm gonna try to put this drill bit down through there. I'm not sure if the cable was actually in the way, but I put a screwdriver in there and tried to keep the cable to the side, and I had to back the bit out of the chuck a little bit, but I did get it all the way through there. So the other bit is longer. I'm gonna go ahead and drill the rest of the way through, then start the next hole. Well, the battery died. Guess I need a spare battery. Couldn't drill 2 holes. It's gonna set me back a little bit, but let me go inside and get ready to prepare for my short trip I gotta take, or put the rest of this thing together, one or the other. Made it through with the big drill bit all the way through. Was having a hard time getting the bolt in with whatever this plate is, keeping the line straight. It was sticking out too far to put the bolt down through there, so I had to pull 2 rows of this out so that was out of the way, so I can get the bolt down in there. So now I got the bolt where it go down through these holes. I guess I could put a washer on there. Now I need to get this other hole started and drilled. That stuff is tight tolerance, so I really can't miss the mark. I got to get straight down in there. These are the nuts and washers that I got to go along with those bolts to mount that to my trailer. I drilled a pilot hole with it on there. Now I'm looking for my drill bit to drill the next hole. Don't know what I did with it. Might have to go the next step, up or down. I was drilling the second hole, then all of a sudden my progress stopped. Tried a different bit. I am going nowhere, and it appears that part of one of my bits broke in the hole, and that has stopped all of my progress. Couldn't get this in, and this stuff is so tight. I was going nowhere, couldn't punch it through, even though I was not too far from it. So I abandoned those 2 holes, and I'm starting a new one. So I got that hole drilled through the top side. Need to go through the bottom. I'm halfway through the bottom, and I ran out of power. So now I got to finish that hole and start another hole over here once I get that one done. Having some drilling issues. Okay, got another hole started. I'm gonna try to get a hole started down here. Let me clean this off, set that thing in place so I get the pilot hole drilled. It's now 11:43. I got both holes drilled, or all 4 I could say. Let me go ahead and mount this thing, see if I can get this thing working. I'm gonna try to use my jump box to power it. I got that thing on the charger, so hopefully my jump box will have enough power to pull the car all the way up there. We'll see here in a few minutes. I have both bolts through it. Hopefully this is strong enough to hold the weight of that car being pulled up there. So let me go get these cars in position. I'm gonna test the electrical first. So let me go grab the electrical so I can hook it up and test it. My 3/32 bit disappeared on me when I took it out of the chuck, so I need to find that. But other than that, I'm through and mounted. Let me go grab my electrical connectors. Leads are clearly marked to the winch on this side, to the battery on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect these to the winch, positive and negative. This side has red, that side is white, neutral. I'm gonna assume this is positive, so I'm gonna try to hook this up to positive and see if I can find some markings. Yes, the markings on the end, that's a T for positive, a T for positive, a minus for negative. The bolts were already there. I snugged them down, 10mm each side. Let me go get my jump box. Here's the plug for the remote. It's got a key in it, and I see the key there, so let me plug this in. Here's my jump box, 70%. I had it on the charger, somebody pulled it off, charged up their phone. So we got some of the cable pulled out because that was necessary to get the mounting bolts through there. I got the remote hooked up. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in and make sure it tries to reel in this cable I have pulled out. Pretty sure it'll have no problem doing that. I got a safety in my jump box cord rated at 200 degrees Celsius, so if that starts getting hot, it'll blow this thing, melt this, shut that down. The motor gets hot, it's got a thermal switch in there, so there's a few safeties built in to prevent overworking it and overheating it. So I'm gonna try to be careful here and not strain this. They recommend running it a minute, letting it rest a couple minutes, keep it cool, and it should be okay. Of course, I only have 5 feet to move this thing to get this car up here, so hopefully it'll do that pretty quick. But let me pull this cable out and make sure it reels it in. We're all hooked up, ready to go. Now there's a lot of safety precautions in the instructions. Main thing is, don't be in the line of fire of this cable in the event it snaps. Another thing I was thinking about doing was draping a blanket off the back of my vehicle with the rear hatch open, so if something broke loose, the blanket would stop the projectile of the cable or cable end, whatever. However, they recommend laying something on the cable, a heavy blanket or a towel or something, so if it breaks loose, that will slow that projectile down as well. So I'm just going to grab the remote, reel some of this slack in, see how that goes. Here's the hand remote with an in and an out. If I hold in and it comes out, that means I got reverse polarity somewhere. So here it is. Held down in and it's reeling it in just fine. Let me reel this in as much as I think I need to get this to where I can hook this up to my car and run my test. I reeled it in about 5 feet or so, and I'm still at 70% on my jump box, so I may be good. Let me go ahead and get this hooked up to my car and see how this is going to work out for me. I drilled 2 3/16 holes on the side to mount the controller. This controller also has a wireless feature, so you could use it wirelessly or you could use it with the plug-in controller. I'm just going to use it with the plug-in controller. I'll mess with that wireless thing some other time. Takes me longer to hook up my camera than some of this other stuff. Anyway, I got the car, I believe, in position. I tried to pull the cable out. However, from me reeling it in, I think it's got a brake set on it. So I'm going to reel it out just a little bit and see if that releases my cable. I tried to pull this, but it was locked. Now I can't. So you got to take the tension off the cable so you can pull the cable out. I got a snatch hook on the front of my car. I hope this is strong enough to pull the car up here. I'm on a very slight downward angle. If it can't pull it up this way, it's never going to work. So let me go ahead and hook this cable up and we're going to get with it. Come over here and release that hook. I'm going to put a towel on this cable for safety precautions. I got it hooked up on the front of the car. The car's in neutral, parking brakes released. I'm going to go ahead and put some tension on this and see if this will pull it up. In an attempt to try to save my bumper, I got a couple pieces of wood under this, so hopefully my bumper will clear. And like I said, I'm on a little bit of an angle, but if it gets up here and past this thing here, I should be good to go. This is going to be the tough spot, getting it over that hump over there, especially on this angle that I'm on. But if it can't get it up here, I may not be able to get it up anywhere. So never cross this cable, walk around. I got a little bit of tension on it. I got this car in gear and the parking brake set, and I think I'm ready to roll. I also have wheel stops behind the car here in case it breaks loose. Hopefully these wheel stops will stop it. So I'm gonna go up about 6 inches at a time, stop, reset my wheel stops, and see if I can pull this thing up here. Now for the moment that we've all been waiting for, to see if this Badland ZXR 2500 can pull a car up on a car dolly. Got the remote here, standing clear out of the way. I'm gonna reel it in, try to get it up about 6 inches and stop. Bumper got cleared. I'm coming up fine. My cable built a little slack there. That's not good, but I'm gonna keep on going. Man, that doesn't sound good, but I'm gonna go around and move that towel so it don't get caught, and I'm halfway up. I moved my rear stops so it won't roll back. I have it most of the way up. I moved my towel catch. Let me come in a little more. My car there is trying to move. Let me come up nice and slow. This is the big hump that I got to get over. Difficult. I'm actually a little concerned that the car will go too far forward, but I should be okay. Let me go and check the other side. I'm right on position. If it takes it this next inch, I'll likely be good to go. Let me move this chalk up and put one in front of it as well. Feel like I want to be on this side of that cable, even though I can't see really good. Alright, I think I'm over the hump. I should be good to go. And it stopped where I wanted it to. Awesome. Now I just need to get that last hump. Shouldn't be too bad. Let me make sure I'm aligned over there. Just barely aligned right over here, but I'm gonna be good. It should fall in the pocket. Doesn't look like it's gonna damage the bumper at all. And it'd be nice if it was a little bit over to the left, this side, but I think we're gonna be okay. Turn the steering wheel just a little bit, and I'm gonna reset these chocks. Not that I think it has any opportunity to roll back now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this a success, because I'm not gonna like the way this falls down on this being downhill. I got this thing up this far. I don't think I have any problem getting it on the level ground. So I believe we're good to go, and I'm gonna go pick up a car here in about an hour or two. I decided I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thing up here. I'm gonna put the wheel stops in front of the trailer here. Man, I would feel a lot better if I had somebody in there to brake that car. Let's see what happens. Let me see if this motor even feels hot. Motor feels cool. I'm still at 70% battery power on my jump box. Man, I don't like this. This downhill drop, man. Let me see if the other side is up over it. Be right back. I see it. It's up on it. I have no doubt that this thing can't handle the task, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here. Reverse this thing. And get this car off of here. So that'll do it, folks. I think we're good to go. It handled the task at hand. Now, I did a bad thing. It looked like I kinked the cable here. That destroys the cable. It probably should be replaced. I had this thing on a little bit of an angle that I wanted it. I should have put it on more of an angle. I need to get this cable stretched out. It may be damaged forever. I think I'm going to go and exchange this thing. The cable got kinked far down the road, not even where I was at. So when I put the tension on it to reel it in, it started tightening the slack that was down in the cable reel, and it damaged the cable all the way down there. I didn't even have that pulled out, so I got a damage in the cable there. I cut myself right there, so I got a strand of the cable broke there, and I got some heavily damaged cable here. So I'm gonna go and exchange this and go at this again. But I think what I may do is unreel it and then reel the cable in with a little bit of tension on it so that it doesn't fall apart like this and get bungled up when it gets some tension on it. Man, I got all kind of wiring problems with my trailer. I don't have flashers on this side or brake lights. I don't have parking lights on the other side. I need to get this fixed, this wire harness. Absolutely no lights on this side. And this light over here on this side. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.